And you're absolutely certain?
Yes, sir. Just a few more steps, just a few more... What was that?
The vents, young man. To keep hounds like you from suffocating down here.
But it sounded like...
Don't tell me you've lost your nerve this soon. I have half a mind to think this special treasure trove of yours is some prank the council are playing on me.
Oh, no, sir. It's not like that at all. It's just a few more steps, like I said. Just a few more. Aha! There we are. What did I tell you? Look at it all.
By all the stars. Right here in our own backyard.
Gold, Joe. Heaps of it. Think of the machines we could keep fixed, the trading that could be done. Our future's down here.
Hack off a piece, and make it quick. There have been too many disappearances to make it a truly good omen. We'll have to send for folks who can make sure it's the real McCoy.
Yes, sir. There we are. Who do you think can get those answers?
I don't have those names, but Lana and I know a hound who can help us find them. A fellow by the name of Alan FIREDALE.
In 2022, I was still in college and I was in a class called Digital Storytelling. In this class, we had to tell a story through a mixed medium, and I decided to blend my knack for the written word with, of course, the discipline of the audio drama. And what I also recognized was crossover potential. A two birds with one stone addition to the world of 365 Infantry, and a great way to create a paid exclusive series for the web version of the project. That series given name, Alan FIREDALE, Desert Delinquent. Instead of doing something sensible, like say a real-time adaptation of The War, where I read each story for its own exclusive audio production, or doing exclusive special stories just for audio from the worlds of, say, Urban Adventure or Speed Freak files, I decided to create an in-world work of radio fiction inspired by Golden Age projects like The Shadow and The Green Hornet, whose core framework is essentially Knight Rider, but the car is the mental age of 6, a girl, and the driver is a red wolf with a hell of a temper, snakeskin boots, and 2 LeMat revolvers. And he's also some of the most fun I've ever had with any project I've ever made. Alan FIREDALE, Desert Delinquent is the story of a lone desert vigilante and his incredible high-tech car, as he sorts out the bizarre mysteries of the desert and often thwarts the plots of villains, such as Dictator General Langdon and various villains of the week. Fueled by a cocktail of Johnny Quest, Knight Rider, and damn near everything I could get my hands on at the time of recording each episode, Alan FIREDALE, Desert Delinquent became probably the most personal project of the series for how closely it aims to emulate classic radio fiction, just with one caveat. It's a one-man show. I don't say this with any ego, I say this because, literally, I'm broke and I decided to do everything myself. I wrote the music, I voiced all the characters, I enlisted our wonderful announcer, Brendan, to be an audio editor and to occasionally supply additional sound effects and voices. But beyond that, the in-world explanation is that it's writer Stan Winshaw himself performing all the voices for his eager audience of listeners every Friday at 6 p.m. The kinds of stories we tell here, you couldn't get away with in any other part of the series, because of an interesting problem. In a world as naturally exciting as life in Haven and the Wastelands is, where does one create the space for doing something that can truly thrill and excite listeners? Especially when your target audience is a family primetime audience. And of course, Mr. Winshaw's answer was to go for fantasy. Alan FIREDALE, in the context of 365 Infantry, is a fantasy radio show unlike anything else on the airwaves. Mr. Winshaw is a maniac. He has all sorts of crazy stories he loves to tell everyone. Everything from mysterious monsters in gold mines to incredibly bizarre contraptions hijacked for nefarious purposes. Every story in Alan FIREDALE is played dead straight with absolute sincerity, and in doing so emulates the grand, free-swinging style of classic radio. The kinds of incredible stories you would hear on everything from CBS to the Mutual Broadcasting Network. Everything you could possibly imagine gets thrown into Alan Firedale at one point or another. Personal favorite episodes include Flames Along the Homeland, a story about Alan Firedale stumbling across a young wolf who is trying to make her way to a resettled patch of land, only to discover that her entire tribe has vanished, to its follow-up story, Devil's Gold, which sees the settlers back in their proper place, but with a whole new set of problems, as well as what should be considered a shark jump, but for us it's called Tuesday, the episode Cosmic Conflagration, in which a UFO crash lands in a nearby town, and Alan and the local ufologists have to figure out if it's for real or not. The entire series hinges on the dynamic between Firedale and his incredible steed, Golden Cloud, named after the given name of none other than Roy Rogers' Trigger. Yes, friends, the original Trigger at that. Alan is this classic southern rebellious type, but with a soft spot and a willingness to help others however he can. Golden Cloud is a deliberately naive take on an artificially intelligent automobile, one designed with a sort of maturing process in its programming, meant so that way she can grow up with Alan as they go on their adventures. And what it results in is this sometimes friendship, but oftentimes an almost parental relationship between Alan and Goldie. Alan often having to calm Golden Cloud down if things get too serious, or in some cases having to explain to her things that she wouldn't understand because they're just not in her databanks. More importantly, she actually isn't voiced per se. Later on in the series, she's given this vocalization code that comes off as a bunch of beeps and boops, but with general inflections of joy, sadness, anger, etc., and Alan obviously plays translator for the audience at home. Supporting Alan is a rotating rogues gallery of guest characters, but more often than not, he finds himself playing opposite of the devious General Langdon, a shockingly ruthless character and probably one of the campest villains I've ever created. Sat somewhere between Frank Reddick's Shadow and Mark Hamill's Joker, General Langdon is just the best.
Stand down! That's the Zen God in you digital dimwits. Thing can't go more than 5 miles an hour. Besides, he can't see Shinola from up there without any instruments. He has no possible way of detecting us. Let him have his 5 seconds of fun, and we'll blow him off the bloody thing. It'll be like fishing a... Oh my word! All units, come online at once!
Ruler of a wonderful, distant dystopia, no one questions his authority, but every time he ventures into the desert, he gets absolutely crushed by a 19-year-old punk and his vintage DeSoto Fireflight. And he goes berserk. The series will always remain a paywalled part of the project, but through the subscription service on Substack, as well as the great subscription packages over on the Ride for 2025 Kickstarter, you'll be able to gain access to all new shows as they're released, as well as the entire archive of all past shows. That said, we do have plans for free Alan Firedale stories in the future, stories that would be released on all major podcasting platforms, with the main series still running as our flagship exclusive. But for now, if you dig that aforementioned golden age of radio entertainment, you will love the kind of wild escapades we get up to with Alan, Goldie, and all the rest on Alan Firedale Desert Delinquent. As always, may God bless you and this force.